I suppose from our point of view, just on as a committee, most people in this room would be part of a club or a community group or a school or something, and it's, I think, something that enriches your life. And as part of our committee with the Irish Festival, we put a bit of work in, but I think probably the most rewarding part of our job is each year we get to do an ambassador. Last year we had the legendary Maureen Keane, who's sitting up the top there tonight. A woman who had just, given everything to a community. We had Mickey McGoldrick a couple of years ago, who's an Irish expat. Leanne Parkinson, same thing. And just, it's a chance for us to really honour these people who don't get in the spotlight. And they say time means everything, and for us, we've been waiting for years to get Billy Dwyer. But we wanted to wait until ANZAC Day, and we knew it was going to come along somewhere, and we wanted to do ANZAC Day properly. We just didn't want to give a lip service. And we knew what Billy had done, and that video just blows you away. He's a guy who, we'll talk about his footy in a minute, but he was probably 19-year-old when Koroit won that 1971 grand final. He's in a hole in Vietnam when they're winning it. This man would have been running around, one of their best players. So that's the sort of sacrifice that someone like Billy made. So we're just so proud to be able to have Billy here. Since we announced it last November, just people talking about Billy Dwyer. He's just a humble man. It's just incredible, and we're just so grateful that we've been able to do this for Billy.
Thanks very much. Good on you, Anthony.
So I'm just going to touch on a couple of things quick of your life, Billy. So first thing, let's go to the footy first. And if any visitors here, footy's a bit of a religion here, and this man could play. So he played for he played for a club called Tower Hill. It was just down the road, and wore the number 14. Is that right, Billy?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Ruck Rover.
On the old ground.
Yeah, the old Tower Hill ground. So it's tough as ever going to be. And he had the old hammer foot where they just got it and banged it on. I remember as a kid going down watching Billy Dwyer and Brendan Maloney and all these lads playing, and they were as Irish as could be without actually being there. And Billy was tough as, but he was also a great player. And he won an under-17 league best and fairest, and then went on a couple of years later and won a senior league best and fairest. Billy, tell us about, I know you're pretty modest, but your footy career down there. How much did you love being part of that environment?
Oh, I love Tower Hill. It started with my older brothers, John and Tom. And I see Peter Madden here. Peter was a great player with Tower Hill. Nell Gallagher, all the people, so many helped out down there. They played on the old ground up, halfway up, and they were a very good side back in the early 60s. I think your dad played, Pat was a great player, and they won a couple of premierships, that Don Grosman there. And then we got the new ground down, further down where it is now. Weren't much good. So those golden years were gone. We were sort of not much good for 10 years. But we went close. We had a bloke called Frankie King come there from Port Fairy. He was a great player. And we were a bit unlucky in 1975. But I was sort of busy with the farm, trying to milk the cows, and packed up after that. But we had a lot of happy times there, it was good.
And Bill, just talking about the farm, Bill's obviously ran a dairy farm for a lot of his life, and spuds. So we'll talk about the spuds because that's what obviously everyone knows Koroit for. And Billy was a spud man like few other spud men. Like these guys, my dad was a spud picker and he was my size, probably smaller, and he done it all his life. And these men were tough. It's the toughest work you're ever going to do.
It's hard.
And this man next to us, he used to pick 100 plus bags of 50 Ks potato every day. And
you had to have everything going right to pick that many, though.
And you used to pick
no stalks.
Used to pick it a lot, Billy, and you know, he's just a machine. I remember as a kid going out helping Dad, and you just look across and Billy Dwyer, it's just arms and legs going everywhere, and he was amazing, and he was just. Billy, tell us about how hard spud picking was.
I was very hard, Anthony. It was that hard. Even with a good crop, you'd go there and even to start off, the first 2 bags, or 1.5, 2 bags, you're in pain, but then after that, the pain would sort of go away and you'd just go on with it then. But there was big money in it back when I was a kid. Like, I made big money when I was, 16 and 15, 16, you'd make 3 or 4 times what someone was making in it Nestle. So I suppose that's why I went at it. But machines come in, that was just a thing of the future, which was good. It was very hard work. But we enjoyed it, Anthony, yeah.
What was your record, Billy? How many bags a day?
Oh, I picked about 100 in the old bag. See, to talk about this little bag that was 15 to the tonne.
60 Ks.
I'd done 107, I think. They were real big. They were 65 kilos. But the other bag, when it come in, the metric one, 20 to the tonne, I think they were real easy. You load them on your own even. Okay. But the bloke, Leo Carey, he was a tremendous picker, and Tommy McCutcheon. There was lots of good pickers, Anthony. But Basil Brooks, I talked, he around here, he's a Koroit man through and through. He picked 150 one day of these 50 kilos.
So 50 kilo is what Bill calls a small bag. And he was doing 107 of 65 kilos. And the thing with these guys as well, they would have teams of 15, 20 pickers. And at the end of the day, they would have to then load these bags with no pay. Basically, that was what you'd done at the end of the day. So it was only half the job doing what they were doing. So these are hard men.
I used to laugh, Anthony. My brother-in-law, Colleen, did a marvellous job on that video. Thanks, Colleen, because you did that for me. But anyway, Dennis come out picking spuds. He married Carmel. He came out picking spuds, and he was like a lot of the Warrnambool blokes. He didn't want to have the bag near his body, and he'd be like, he'd have the bag out here, away from his body. He didn't know. Us fellas, Tom, my brother, he'd bring the bag, he'd move the bag with his knee, We'd drive the knee in, with the Warrnambool blokes didn't want to have the bag near their body. But Dennis done all right. He got a few.
Pretty soft, them Warrnambool blokes, eh?
No, they're not. They weren't soft. I remember Ray Hawthorne come out and he picked it up. He was a pretty good picker, good footballer. And Cookie picked. He learned. He lives over here. He wasn't bad at it. Pretty good at it.
Yeah. And the other big thing in your life, Bill, is obviously your family. You've got the Houston girls here tonight, and your own family here, and they all adore you, and obviously been a big part of your life.
Oh yeah, I've had a great family, and Dawn's been good. She's had a lot to put up with. No, we like living. Koroit's a big place now. I don't know how many people live here now, Anthony.
Yeah, there's a few about.
There's a lot about compared to what it was even 20 years ago.
But it's just everyone tonight. It's such an honour for everyone to have you here, Bill, and you deserve everything you get tonight and on the weekend and everything you've got the last few months leading into this.
I just wanted to say, on the film about Vietnam, we drank a lot of grog in Nui Dat, but out in the bush, sometimes we were out in the bush for 2 weeks and there was no grog out there. So we weren't playing cards, and but it was a great job you done, Colleen. Thanks. I know it come up pretty good.
Brilliant. And I think the thing about Billy is all these things I've heard about him, and as you can hear, he's got probably his family obviously way back from Ireland, and he's got that Irish storyteller. He listened to Bill all day, and it's just so nice to have him. I remember as a kid, like, two things I remember about Bill is we followed the Tower Hill Footy Club, and Dad picked spuds with Bill, and he was a bit of a hero, but the thing was, he was the best footballer and the best spud picker, but you'd walk in there and he'd rub your head when you had a bit of hair, and he'd rub it, and he'd say, "G'day, young Brady," and all that stuff, and he'd make you feel like 100 foot tall, and he still does. I think anyone that meets Bill, he makes it feel 100 foot tall, and he's pretty special.
Just before you finish, Anthony, he's not praising up his own dad. His dad was a great footballer, Paddy, and I remember I couldn't kick. And Paddy Brady, I seen Ants up the back there, Ant Smarty. Paddy Brady, I banged on my boot and went up in the air, and Paddy's waiting, but your father's waiting. And just as he went marked it, they flattened him. And he got up and he threw his bloody ear off and he went mad at me. He got the free kick, but it was too high of a kick.
Yeah, and the same man who just absolutely loved this bloke, and we all love him. And Adele's going to come on and present his sash.
Turn around, show everyone, wave to the audience.
Thanks, guys.